The Galactic Council chamber was vast, brighter than any human had ever imagined, with floating platforms and holographic displays stretching to a ceiling that seemed to touch the stars themselves. Hundreds of species from across the galaxy had gathered, their forms varying from delicate winged creatures to massive armored beings that made the walls tremble with their presence. At the center, Earth's delegation stood on a small platform, dwarfed by the grandeur and the power of the other civilizations. The aliens looked at the humans and laughed, not softly but with a sound that echoed through the chamber, making even the bravest human feel a twinge of doubt. Primitive, a tall, tentacled ambassador hissed. They cannot even travel beyond their system without guidance, and they call themselves explorers. Another voice, metallic and sharp, joined in. Weak, slow, predictable. Humanity is a joke. Why even allow them here? The human diplomat, a calm man named Jonathan Cade, did not flinch. He had prepared for this. He straightened his suit, glanced at his team, and spoke in measured tones. We may be young compared to your civilizations, but we are capable of growth, adaptation, and unity. Underestimating us could be a mistake. The laughter only grew louder. A few aliens leaned back in their hovering chairs, flicking their claws and tails, enjoying what they believed was entertainment at humanity's expense. From the back of the chamber, a retired Earth military officer named Commander Laura Haynes watched silently. She had seen humans survive worse than ridicule, plagues, wars, natural disasters. She knew that the galaxy's laughter meant nothing. In the quiet of her mind, she made calculations and mental plans. If the Council would not take humans seriously, humanity would make them. After hours of mockery, the Council finally adjourned, leaving the humans to their small platform, shaking with the echoes of alien laughter. Outside in the city of New Tokyo on Earth, human engineers and scientists worked quietly in massive orbital platforms. They did not cheer, nor did they react to the Council's events. They had other things to do. Giant hangars held starships that dwarfed any vessel the aliens possessed. Human engineers moved with precision, welding, programming, and testing systems that combined speed, defense, and firepower in ways no alien had yet imagined. In one section, a group of young pilots practiced maneuvers in virtual simulations, learning to move as one unit, striking before the enemy even saw them coming. "This is only the beginning," said Dr. Amina Rahal, a leading scientist, watching her team calibrate a new energy shield. "They think we are weak. They do not know our potential. Let them laugh. We will let them see." On Earth, media reports covered the Council meeting, mostly showing the aliens mocking humans. But online forums buzzed with pride, speculation, and hope. People across the planet felt a sense of determination. Humanity had been underestimated before, and it had survived. It had grown stronger each time. Back in space, humans were not just building ships. They were studying alien technology from a distance, learning patterns, weaknesses, and habits. They were patient. Patience was a human strength, one the aliens had not counted on. Weeks later, Jonathan Cade addressed the Council again, but this time, he did not bow to ridicule. "We will not ask for respect. We will earn it." The aliens barely listened, certain that this was the empty words of a weak species. They returned to their debates, strategies, and politics, unconcerned with the humans below. Meanwhile, Commander Haynes oversaw the final preparations for the first human operation outside the solar system. Small stealthy warships were ready. Their crews had trained for months, running exercises that simulated alien tactics, testing every system until it was flawless. Haynes walked among the pilots, their eyes full of focus, determination, and a hint of excitement. "You know what they think of us," she said quietly. "They laugh because they see only what they want. But we will show them what they do not see. Remember, courage and intelligence will always beat arrogance." The ships launched in the silence of space. No fanfare, no announcements. Only the hum of engines and the glow of shields breaking through the darkness. The humans moved as shadows, unseen, striking at small, critical installations on the outskirts of alien-controlled systems. Alien sensors detected anomalies, but they assumed it was a minor glitch, a coincidence. That mistake would cost them dearly. Human pilots, trained to anticipate alien patterns, struck with precision. Communications hubs were disabled, supply lines disrupted, and for the first time the aliens felt confusion. On board one of the human ships, Lieutenant Mark Voss, the youngest pilot in the fleet, smiled. "They think this is impossible," he said. "But we just did it. Yes, Commander Haynes replied, her voice calm but proud. And this is only the beginning. Back in the Council, reports of the attacks began to filter in. Confusion turned into disbelief. Ambassadors argued, commanding officers panicked, and strategists tried to understand how a species they had mocked could achieve so much with so few resources. This is impossible, one alien cried. They cannot reach these systems with such speed and precision. Another, more cautious, muttered, perhaps we underestimated them. But Jonathan Cade remained composed. He knew the humans were not yet done. Their goal was not destruction for its own sake. It was demonstration, proof that humans could adapt, learn, and overcome even when the odds were against them. Human engineers and pilots were not heroes in the alien eyes yet, but in the hearts of their own people, they already were. Families watched as live feeds of operations showed human crews succeeding where no one thought they could. Stories of bravery spread across planets, inspiring others to believe in the human spirit. Commander Haynes convened her officers after the first operation. We've shown them what we can do, but the galaxy is watching. They will respond, and we must be ready. Adaptation will be key. Creativity will be key. Every human who fights, who thinks, who invents, every one of you, is part of what makes us strong. Dr. Rahal, monitoring new technology on the orbital platforms, nodded. And every day we grow stronger. They see only what they know. But humans always find new paths, new ways to survive and thrive. In the council chambers, alien leaders grew uneasy. The laughter that once filled the room was gone, replaced by murmurs and debates. Humanity had become a question, a puzzle they could not solve. And that scared them more than any weapon. Jonathan Cade stepped onto the platform once more, silent and confident. The galaxy may have laughed at us once, he said softly, almost to himself. But that is a mistake they will not make again. As the humans left the council, alien eyes followed them, filled with confusion and a growing respect. The galaxy had never seen anything like this before. A species underestimated, mocked, and thought weak, yet capable of achieving what no one expected. Far from the council chambers, in hidden human cities, engineers and pilots continued their work. Starships gleamed under artificial suns, weapon systems hummed with power, and new technology promised even greater surprises. Humanity was preparing for a future the galaxy had not imagined. And somewhere in the stars, the first alien fleet to respond to the human operations prepared for war. They thought they were ready. They thought humans would falter. They were wrong. The galaxy had laughed at humanity once, but that laughter would not last. Humanity was ready, and the galaxy would learn soon enough that humans were not to be underestimated. The stars were quiet as the first human fleet moved into the outer edges of alien space. No one cheered. No one announced their arrival. The ships glided like shadows, almost invisible against the glittering galaxy. Commander Laura Haynes stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, her eyes fixed on the holographic displays. Every move had been calculated, every maneuver rehearsed countless times. Status report, she said calmly. Lieutenant Mark Voss, sitting beside her, checked the sensors. All systems green, Commander. No alien ships detected in the immediate area. We're approaching the first target. The target was a communications hub in a minor alien system. By itself it was unimportant, but it was the first proof that humans could strike where the aliens thought they were safe. The hub controlled data links for several nearby stations, and its destruction would create confusion and force the aliens to reveal their response. Haynes nodded. We make this strike clean. No casualties. Quick in, quick out. The ships descended toward the hub, silent and precise. The aliens monitoring their own systems had no idea what was coming. Their sensors detected nothing unusual, until it was too late. Inside the hub, alarms blared as the human fleet appeared out of nowhere. Energy beams struck key systems, disabling defenses and cutting communications. Human engineers aboard the ships remotely controlled drones to secure critical sections of the hub. Everything moved in perfect synchronization, almost as if the humans were a single organism rather than separate individuals. Lieutenant Voss grinned. They won't know what hit them. Exactly, Haynes replied. And that's the point. They need to see we are capable. They need to see humans are not helpless. Within minutes, the hub was disabled. The aliens could not comprehend how it had happened. Messages flew between fleets, confusion spreading like wildfire. How could a species they had mocked strike with such speed, precision, and stealth? Far from the hub, in another part of the galaxy, the alien high command gathered. Screens flickered with incoming reports. For the first time, some officers were uneasy. "This is impossible," shouted a towering alien commander. "Our defenses should have detected them. Our patrols should have stopped them." A smaller, more careful alien muttered. "Perhaps we underestimated them. Perhaps they are more capable than we believed." Meanwhile, the human fleet had moved on. The first strike was only a demonstration, but it achieved exactly what Haynes wanted. The aliens were confused, unsure, and forced to react. The humans were not looking to conquer yet. They were showing that underestimation was dangerous. On board Resolute, Haynes reviewed the operation. Every crew member worked efficiently, following protocols but also thinking creatively. Humans were not just strong or fast. They adapted, improvised, and solved problems in ways no alien could anticipate. "Next target," Haynes said. "A supply depot 2 systems away, minimal defenses, maximum impact on their logistics." Lieutenant Voss leaned forward. "Commander, do you think they realize they're being challenged?" Haynes smiled faintly. "Not yet. But they will, and when they do, we need to be ready for anything." The supply depot was a complex station orbiting a gas giant. It contained fuel, supplies, and repair facilities for several alien fleets. Human drones disabled perimeter shields quietly, while small boarding teams infiltrated the station. In under an hour, humans had taken control of the depot without a single life lost. From the alien side, panic spread. "We must respond," one officer demanded. "We cannot allow this species to interfere with our operations." Another alien, more analytical, shook its head. "We do not understand their tactics. We cannot predict their next move. They think differently from us." Indeed, human tactics were unlike anything the aliens had faced. While the aliens relied on brute strength, overwhelming numbers, and predictable strategies, humans combined intelligence, adaptability, and courage. Each move was carefully calculated, but humans were also willing to take risks the aliens would never consider. Back on the human fleet, news of the successful strike reached Earth in real time. Across the planet, people watched live feeds of human crews disabling alien installations, marveling at their courage and precision. For the first time, humans outside the military or engineering sectors could see that their species was capable of extraordinary achievements. Commander Haynes addressed her officers after the operation. "This is what humans do best. We observe, we adapt, and we act when the time is right. Today we showed the galaxy that we are not weak. We showed them that underestimation is dangerous. Remember, we do not fight for fear or hatred. We fight to protect our people, our home, and our future." The fleet continued its campaign, moving from system to system. Human pilots executed daring maneuvers, dodging alien patrols and striking at vulnerable points. Engineers on the ships repaired damaged systems faster than anyone expected, often while under fire. Human soldiers boarded alien installations with courage that inspired one another, never hesitating even when the odds seemed impossible. In one small skirmish, a squadron of alien fighters surrounded a human ship. Lieutenant Voss's small craft darted between energy blasts, weaving through asteroid fields and using the terrain of space to hide their movements. With precise targeting, Voss disabled 2 enemy fighters and forced the rest to retreat. Did they just lose to one ship? A surprised alien commander asked over a transmission. "Yes," another replied, "and they survived when they should not have." The human fleet's success was not just technology, it was human ingenuity. Humans could think creatively, adjust plans instantly, and take advantage of the smallest opportunities. They could survive where others would fail, because their minds and their courage were as powerful as any weapon. Back on Earth, Dr. Amina Rahal and her team monitored the operations. "They're performing beyond our expectations," she said quietly. "But that's humans. We take what we know, we combine it with what we learn, and we turn it into something new. This is only the beginning." As days passed, the alien response became more organized. Fleets moved toward human activity, determined to find and destroy the attackers. But humans anticipated this. They left decoys, created diversions, and continued to strike where the aliens were weakest. Every engagement taught the humans something new, and they adapted faster than the aliens could respond. The galaxy began to take notice. Other species who had watched the humans being mocked at the council were now whispering, analyzing, and reconsidering their opinions. Humans were no longer the underdogs to be laughed at. They were unpredictable, smart, and dangerous in ways no one had expected. In a quiet moment aboard Resolute, Commander Haynes looked at her crew. They think we are weak. They think we cannot challenge them. That is our advantage. Let them underestimate us. Let them watch us adapt and overcome. The galaxy has laughed at humanity for too long. It is time they stop. The first wave of operations ended with minimal human losses and maximum impact on alien supply lines. Humans had proven that they could strike efficiently, outthink their enemies, and survive against forces far stronger and more numerous. Back in the council chambers, alien leaders finally began to realize the truth. Reports streamed in from the systems humans had attacked. Their patrols had failed, their installations had been disrupted, and their fleets had been embarrassed. For the first time, the council was forced to take a species seriously that they had previously dismissed as a joke. Jonathan Cade prepared his next address to the council. He knew that humanity's goal was not to destroy the galaxy, but to make one thing clear. Humans were not to be underestimated. One mistake, one underestimation, could cost the aliens far more than they could imagine. As the human fleet returned to orbit near Earth, the crew celebrated quietly. Not with loud cheers, but with pride in their skill, unity, and courage. They had shown the galaxy what humans were capable of, and the galaxy had no choice but to watch. The aliens had laughed once. They would not laugh again. Humanity had made its first mark in the stars, and the message was clear. They were here. They were capable. And the galaxy had better pay attention. The next wave of operations was already being planned. The humans would continue to strike, adapt, and prove themselves not for glory but for survival, pride, and the future of their species. Somewhere in alien space, fleets mobilized, trying to understand what they faced. But understanding humans was impossible. Humans did not act like anyone else. Humans did not think like anyone else. Humans learned, adapted, and triumphed in ways no one expected. Commander Haynes looked at the stars. They laughed at us once, she said softly. Now it's time they learn. We are not helpless. We are human, and humans survive. The galaxy would soon learn the full truth. And when it did, there would be no more laughter, only respect, fear, and awe. The alien fleets were furious. Their pride had been wounded, their systems disrupted, and their technology humiliated by humans who were supposed to be weak. Across multiple star systems, commanders issued orders. Find the humans, destroy their ships, and restore control. Yet the humans had already adapted. They were not waiting passively for the aliens to strike. They were anticipating moves, preparing countermeasures, and turning every attack into a lesson. Commander Laura Haynes stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute, watching the galaxy through the wide viewport. Thousands of stars stretched before her, each one a potential battlefield, each one a challenge. Commander, Lieutenant Voss said, pointing to the sensors, we've detected multiple alien fleets moving to intercept us. They're coming from 3 different systems, converging on our position. Haynes nodded. Good, let them come. They'll learn quickly that humans do not fight like anyone else. Prepare the fleet for full engagement. I want every ship ready to adapt, every pilot ready to think, and every engineer ready to fix anything in seconds. The first fleet arrived in a flash of light, massive alien warships forming a wall in space. Their numbers were overwhelming, and their weapons far more advanced than anything humans had faced before. But Haynes was not worried. Humans thrived on challenges. Lieutenant, she said calmly, deploy decoy drones to the left flank, full electronic interference on the right. We'll draw them in and strike where they least expect it. Voss nodded, impressed by the simplicity and brilliance of the plan. Humans had learned quickly that brute force was rarely the answer. Instead, they relied on adaptability, creativity, and teamwork. The aliens opened fire first, beams of energy cutting through space toward the human fleet. Most ships evaded using high-speed maneuvers, unpredictable patterns, and precise timing. One human ship under Lieutenant Voss dodged between 2 massive alien cruisers, weaving through debris fields and returning fire with pinpoint accuracy. Keep moving, Haynes ordered. Use their momentum against them. The humans were not fighting to destroy all the alien ships, at least not yet. They were showing capability, intelligence, and courage. Every maneuver, every shot was designed to confuse, disrupt, and demonstrate that underestimating humanity could be fatal. In the middle of the engagement, an alien warship targeted a small human repair vessel. It was vulnerable, slow, and clearly marked for destruction. Voss's squadron moved immediately, intercepting the fire and shielding the repair ship with coordinated attacks. "Never leave a teammate behind," Voss said over the comms, his voice steady despite the chaos. That's human instinct. The aliens were baffled. Their tactics were simple and predictable: surround, fire, overwhelm, but humans operated differently. They adapted instantly, combining offense and defense, exploiting weaknesses and using the environment of space as an ally. Every failure the aliens assumed humans would have was turned into an advantage. On board Resolute, Commander Haynes monitored the battle, her mind calculating dozens of possibilities at once. Redirect energy to forward shields. Deploy boarding drones to the nearest cruiser. Use distraction patterns to split their formation. Let's show them that humans fight with strategy as well as courage. The battle raged for hours. Small human squadrons infiltrated alien vessels, disabling weapons and communication arrays without firing a single shot. Engineers patched critical damage in minutes, restoring ships to combat-ready status almost instantly. Every move demonstrated human ingenuity and resilience, qualities that no alien weapon could destroy. Meanwhile, on Earth, people watched the live feed of the engagement. Children stared with wide eyes, families held their breath, and scientists marveled at what humans were achieving. For the first time in recorded history, humanity was proving in real time that it could survive and thrive against forces far stronger and more numerous than itself. Back in alien space, confusion turned to fear. Fleet commanders shouted orders that were contradictory, plans were abandoned mid-flight, and some ships even retreated in panic. Aliens who had once laughed at humanity were now questioning everything they knew. "This is impossible," one officer hissed. "They cannot fight like this. They cannot survive like this." "Then why do they?" Another responded. "We cannot predict them. We cannot outthink them. Every move we anticipate is countered." On board Resolute, Haynes's voice was calm but firm. "Humans think differently. Humans adapt differently. That is why we survive when others fail. Never forget it." The battle's turning point came when humans executed a coordinated strike on the largest alien cruiser in the fleet. Boarding drones infiltrated the ship's systems, while a human squad of pilots used high-speed maneuvers to disable its defenses. Within minutes, the cruiser was neutralized, not destroyed but incapacitated. The remaining alien vessels hesitated, unsure how to respond to such unorthodox tactics. Lieutenant Voss smiled as he watched the cruiser go dark. "They thought we would break, Commander. They thought we'd panic. They underestimated us again. And they will continue to underestimate us," Haynes replied, "until they learn that humans do not fight like anyone else." By the end of the engagement, the alien fleet had retreated in disarray. Humans had won without losing a single ship permanently. The aliens' arrogance had been shattered, their strategies proven inadequate against the adaptability and ingenuity of a species they had once mocked. Jonathan Cade, observing from a nearby council outpost, prepared his next message. "The galaxy must see that humanity is not weak," he said quietly. "We have the power to survive, to defend ourselves, and to thrive. But we do not need to destroy to prove it. We only need to show our strength, our courage, and our resolve." Commander Haynes convened her officers after the battle. This was more than a victory. This was a lesson. Humans survive because we adapt. We cooperate. We think, learn, and act quickly. Never forget that our strength is not just in our weapons, but in our minds and our hearts. Dr. Amina Rahal, back on Earth, monitored the aftermath of the engagement. "They're learning from everything," she said. "Every maneuver, every strike, every adaptation is building experience. Humans grow stronger with every challenge." Across the galaxy, whispers began to spread among other species. They had watched humans mocked, laughed at, and dismissed. But now reports of their successes and ingenuity could not be ignored. Analysts studied their tactics, diplomats reconsidered alliances, and even minor species began to treat Earth with caution. The humans, however, did not celebrate. They had achieved much, but the journey was only beginning. Commander Haynes looked at her crew. "The galaxy has noticed us," she said. "Some fear us. Some respect us, but all will remember that humans survive against all odds, and we will continue to adapt, improve, and overcome every challenge they send our way." Lieutenant Voss, still energized from the battle, looked out at the stars. "They laughed at us once," he said, "and now they're learning they should not." "Exactly," Haynes replied. "And we will remind them every day in every system that humans are not weak, humans are not helpless, and humans never stop fighting." In the following weeks, humans continued to adapt and refine their tactics. Each engagement taught them something new. Each challenge strengthened their resolve. Alien fleets that had once been confident now moved cautiously, hesitant to strike, constantly wary of what humans might do next. And somewhere in the council chambers, alien leaders could no longer hide their unease. The species they had mocked, dismissed, and laughed at were proving themselves to be intelligent, capable, and fearless. Jonathan Cade prepared to address the council again, this time with confidence born of proof. Humanity had faced overwhelming odds and emerged victorious through courage, ingenuity, and adaptability. The galaxy could no longer laugh at them. Commander Haynes stood on the bridge of Resolute, looking at the stars that now seemed less distant and more familiar. "They think we are weak. They think we will break. But we will continue to adapt. We will continue to grow, and when they finally understand humanity, they will do so with respect." The galaxy had laughed at humanity once. That laughter had ended, and humans were only beginning to show what they were capable of. The galaxy was watching. News of human victories and daring maneuvers had spread far beyond the systems they had directly touched. Alien species who had once mocked Earth were now sharing cautious reports analyzing human strategies and reconsidering alliances. Humanity was no longer the laughingstock. It had become a symbol of unpredictability, courage, and ingenuity. On board the flagship Resolute, Commander Laura Haynes reviewed the latest intelligence. "It's time the galaxy sees what humans can do, not just in small operations but as a force to be respected," she said. Lieutenant Mark Voss leaned over the display. "We've had minor skirmishes, Commander. Our fleets are efficient, precise, and the aliens keep underestimating us. But what's next? Do we push further into their territory?" Haynes nodded. "Yes, but carefully. This is about presence as much as victory. We show them that humans are not just capable of survival. We are capable of leadership, innovation, and unity. Every system we enter must remember that." The first mission of this new phase was both simple and bold, a demonstration of strength without destruction. Humans would enter an alien-controlled system, disrupt operations in a highly visible way, and then leave, unharmed but undeniable in their capabilities. It was diplomacy through action, a message that humans were a rising power in the galaxy. As the human fleet entered the system, alien patrols detected them immediately. This time there would be no surprise. The aliens were ready, or so they thought. "Enemy fleets approaching," Voss reported. "They've gathered a significant number of ships." "They're expecting us," Haynes smiled faintly. "Good, let them prepare. That will make our demonstration more effective." The aliens opened fire, energy beams cutting through space, but the humans responded with precision. Ships maneuvered in coordinated patterns, dodging attacks and striking at critical points in ways the aliens had not anticipated. Human engineers remotely disabled a few enemy communication nodes, creating temporary chaos in the alien formation. One of the larger alien ships tried to flank the humans, assuming they could predict human movements. Instead, it ran into a trap. Smaller human craft using asteroid fields for cover surrounded it from all sides. Drones disabled its engines, leaving it floating powerless, a clear example of human ingenuity and strategy. "Observe and adapt," Haynes ordered. "We win not by brute force, but by using intelligence and creativity." The alien commanders, who had once mocked humans openly, were now silent and confused. Their fleets moved cautiously, unsure how to respond to an enemy that did not fight according to the rules they knew. Meanwhile, on Earth, civilians and scientists alike watched live feeds of the operation. They saw humans moving with purpose, using strategy and unity to overcome an enemy that was stronger on paper. The human spirit was on full display, calm, courageous, and unstoppable. In one daring maneuver, Lieutenant Voss piloted a small craft through a narrow asteroid canyon. evading heavy fire while disabling several alien drones that were targeting the main fleet. "We're proving a point," he said over the comms. "They don't understand how humans fight. They never have." Haynes watched him with quiet pride. "That's why we survive," she said. "We think differently. We adapt faster. We do not follow predictable patterns. Humans are dangerous because we refuse to be predictable." The demonstration was carefully orchestrated. The humans inflicted no casualties but disrupted key alien supply lines and operational nodes. When the aliens attempted to retaliate, they found themselves disoriented and hesitant. Every engagement showcased human ability to survive, adapt, and overcome. As the fleet prepared to leave the system, a neutral alien race observed from a distance. They had once dismissed humans as primitive, but now they saw something entirely different. Humans were brave, clever, and capable of thinking in ways that made even seasoned commanders pause. "This species is unlike any we have faced," one alien analyst whispered. "They are not limited by fear or pride. They adapt, they learn, and they survive." Onboard Resolute, Commander Haynes issued the order to withdraw. "We've made our point," she said. "Leave them with a lesson they will not forget. Humans do not need to destroy to demonstrate power. Presence is enough." The fleet exited the system without a single loss. Humans had shown themselves as a force capable of commanding respect, without engaging in unnecessary destruction. The galaxy had seen it. Humanity was no longer weak and the laughter was gone. In the council chambers, alien leaders debated furiously. "We underestimated them," one admitted. "Their tactics, their adaptability, their unity. It is unlike anything we have faced." Another added, "They do not fight like we do. They think differently. That is dangerous." Jonathan Cade, observing from a human outpost, prepared his next statement. "The galaxy must understand," he said quietly, "that humans are not to be taken lightly. We are intelligent, adaptable, and courageous. We will survive. We will thrive. And we will be respected." Back on Earth, scientists and engineers continued their work. New technologies were tested, ships upgraded, and simulations ran endlessly. Humanity's advance was not just military. It was also intellectual. Humans were learning, improving, and preparing for challenges the galaxy had yet to imagine. Commander Haynes addressed her officers in a private meeting. "We are showing the galaxy what it means to be human. Courage, intelligence, adaptability. These are our weapons. Remember, strength alone does not win wars. Strategy, creativity, and unity do, and humans have all three in abundance." Lieutenant Voss smiled. "The galaxy is starting to notice. They won't mock us again." "No," Haynes agreed. "They will respect us. And respect is far more valuable than fear." As humans continued their presence in multiple systems, other species began to approach with caution. Diplomatic missions requested meetings while neutral fleets observed from a distance. Humanity's reputation was growing, not through intimidation but through consistent demonstration of skill, courage, and adaptability. In one quiet moment aboard Resolute, Haynes looked out at the stars. "They laughed at us once," she said softly. "Now they are learning. And they will never forget." The alien fleets, once confident and mocking, now moved with hesitation. Their arrogance had been challenged, their certainty shaken. Humanity's actions had created a ripple across the galaxy, forcing even distant civilizations to reconsider their assumptions about Earth and its people. Meanwhile, on Earth, civilians celebrated quietly. Children drew pictures of human ships among the stars. Scientists discussed new theories and inventions inspired by the recent operations. Humanity's story of courage and ingenuity spread not just across planets, but through the hearts and minds of its people. The human fleet continued its operations, not to conquer, but to demonstrate. Each engagement was a lesson in strategy, teamwork, and adaptability. Every victory, large or small, reinforced the truth. Humans were not weak and they were not helpless. Commander Haynes convened her officers one last time before returning to Earth orbit. "This is more than a mission," she said. "It is a statement. Humans are capable. Humans are strong. And humans will never again be underestimated." Lieutenant Voss nodded. "They laughed once. They won't laugh again." "No," Haynes agreed. "And when the galaxy fully understands what humans are capable of, they will do so with respect, and maybe even awe." As the fleet returned to Earth's orbit, the human crews reflected on their journey. They had faced stronger forces, navigated uncertainty, and adapted faster than anyone had expected. The galaxy had laughed at humanity once. That laughter had ended. The stage was set for the next chapter. Humans were no longer merely surviving in a galaxy filled with more advanced species. They were being recognized, feared, and respected. And the galaxy had no choice but to pay attention. Somewhere in the council chambers, alien leaders studied reports of the human operations. Their voices, once mocking, were now hushed. Their strategies, once confident, were now tentative. Humanity had changed the way the galaxy saw them, proving that courage, intelligence, and adaptability were weapons more powerful than arrogance and strength alone. Onboard resolute, Commander Haynes looked at her crew, proud and resolute. The galaxy has noticed humans. Some fear us, some respect us, but all will remember that humans survive against impossible odds, and we will continue to adapt, improve, and overcome every challenge they send our way. The galaxy had watched and it had learned. Humanity had proven itself, not just as survivors, but as a rising force that would not be ignored. And somewhere among the stars, a new understanding began to spread. Humans were no longer the species to mock. They were intelligent, brave, and unstoppable. The laughter of the galaxy was gone. In its place came a mix of caution, curiosity, and respect. Humanity had arrived. The Galactic Council chambers were silent for the first time in memory. Hundreds of species had gathered, some towering, some delicate, some floating, but all eyes were on the humans. The species they had once mocked, dismissed, and laughed at were now at the center of attention. Jonathan Cade stepped forward, standing tall on the human platform. Around him, human representatives and advisors waited, calm and confident. The council members whispered among themselves, astonishment clear in their expressions. For the first time, humanity was not just present, they were the focus. Cade began in measured, steady tones. The galaxy has witnessed what humanity is capable of. We do not seek to dominate, to destroy, or to rule, but we will not be dismissed. We are intelligent, adaptable, and courageous. We survive where others fail. We thrive where others doubt. We are humans, and we demand to be respected as equals among the stars. Murmurs filled the chamber. Some alien delegates looked skeptical, others curious, and a few simply stared, unable to comprehend the shift in power. The laughter that had once echoed here was gone, replaced by silence, tension, and a sense of respect, tentative but growing. Commander Laura Haynes stepped forward next, her presence commanding without a word. She had been at the forefront of human operations, and the galaxy had witnessed her fleet's precision, bravery, and ingenuity. She raised her hand slightly, signaling unity, strength, and readiness. The galaxy has watched our actions, Haynes said calmly. We have adapted, we have learned, and we have overcome challenges no one thought possible. Our victories were not only on the battlefield, they were in strategy, in teamwork, in innovation. Humanity thrives not because of weapons alone, but because of intelligence, courage, and unity. These qualities cannot be stopped by technology alone. They cannot be predicted and they cannot be ignored. A murmur of approval ran through some sections of the chamber. Alien delegates who had once doubted humans now considered the evidence. The humans had survived impossible odds and outsmarted fleets far larger and stronger than theirs. They were no longer the species to ridicule. One of the oldest alien council members, a being with crystalline skin that shimmered under the lights, spoke carefully. We underestimated your species. We assumed you were primitive, weak, and incapable, but we have been proven wrong. Cade nodded. You were not alone in that belief. Many species across the galaxy doubted humanity. We do not blame you. But today, we ask that you acknowledge us as equals. We ask for respect not because we demand it, but because we have earned it through our actions, our courage, and our ingenuity. The chamber fell silent again. There was a long pause as the alien leaders processed what they had witnessed. The humans were different. Their actions, their mindset, and their resilience had shattered every preconception. In the outer chamber, other species watched. Some had been neutral observers, curious but unconcerned. Now they whispered among themselves, recognizing that humans were no longer weak. Humanity had grown into a force that could not be ignored. Haynes stepped forward once more. We are not here to threaten, but to show that humans are a species to respect. We will continue to explore, to innovate, and to defend ourselves. We will continue to survive against challenges, whether expected or impossible. And we will continue to grow, not through fear but through courage, intelligence, and unity. A younger alien representative, known for aggressive rhetoric in past sessions, hesitated before speaking. Your fleet, your strategies, they are unlike anything we have faced. You act unpredictably yet with precision. You survive where we thought you would fail. How do you achieve this? Cade smiled faintly. It is simple. Humans think differently. We learn, we adapt, and we never give up. We work together, combining intelligence, courage, and creativity. That is why humans survive, and why we will continue to thrive in this galaxy. The murmurs grew into nods of recognition. Some delegates who had once scoffed now looked thoughtful, realizing that humans were not only capable but extraordinary. The story of Earth's people had become a tale of courage and ingenuity across the stars. Meanwhile, back in orbit, the human fleet maintained formation, visible to all nearby star systems. It was a symbol of humanity's present strength and readiness. Ships gleamed under artificial suns, technology and engineering unmatched in some aspects, but their true power was in the people who crewed them, their minds, their hearts, and their will to survive. On Earth, civilians watched as the Council broadcasted live. Children drew stars and ships. Families cheered quietly, and scientists discussed the implications. Humanity's achievements were no longer secret or hidden. They were known, admired, and respected across the galaxy. Commander Haynes gathered her officers on the bridge of Resolute. We have shown the galaxy what humans are capable of, she said. But this is only the beginning. Respect earned today must be reinforced tomorrow. We must continue to innovate, to learn, and to act with courage. Our strength lies not in our ships, but in our unity and our ingenuity. Lieutenant Voss looked out at the stars. The galaxy is no longer laughing. They're watching and they are paying attention. Haynes nodded. Exactly. And they will continue to watch. But they will also learn that humans cannot be ignored, dismissed, or underestimated. In the council chambers, alien leaders were still adjusting to the new reality. They had underestimated humans for too long, and that mistake had cost them more than pride. Some were wary of future encounters, others curious about potential alliances. All knew that Earth had changed the balance in ways that no one had predicted. Jonathan Cade took one final moment before stepping down from the platform. The galaxy has seen what humans are capable of. We will continue to explore, to learn, and to grow. But we will also defend ourselves, and we will never be dismissed again. Humanity is here, and we will be respected, not out of fear, but because of our courage, intelligence, and unity. As the humans stepped down, the chamber erupted, not in laughter, but in a mix of awe, respect, and cautious admiration. The galaxy had learned that humans were different, powerful, and resilient. Back on Earth, celebrations were quiet but meaningful. People did not revel in destruction. They rejoiced in recognition. Humanity had survived, adapted, and proven itself. The story of Earth's people had transformed from a tale of ridicule to a legend of courage and ingenuity. The human fleet returned to orbit near Earth, not as conquerors, but as a symbol of unity and strength. Engineers and pilots repaired and upgraded ships, preparing for whatever the galaxy might send next. Humans had proven themselves once, but the future held even greater challenges and opportunities. Commander Haynes addressed her crew one last time before they disbanded for rest. You have done more than anyone could have imagined. You have shown the galaxy that humans survive where others fail, adapt where others cannot, and thrive when underestimated. Remember this. Remember what makes us human. Courage, intelligence, and unity are our true weapons, and as long as we hold them, no one can stop us. Lieutenant Voss smiled, thinking of every skirmish, every daring maneuver, and every moment of ingenuity. We've shown them. They won't laugh at humans again. No, Haynes agreed, and they will remember that for a long time. In the weeks that followed, alien fleets adjusted their patrols, analysts studied human tactics, and diplomatic missions approached Earth with newfound respect. Humanity's rise was no longer a secret or a rumor. It was a reality. The species that had once been laughed at had become a force that demanded attention. Jonathan Cade reflected quietly in his office. We did not come here to fight. We came to survive, to grow, and to be respected. Today we achieved that. Tomorrow we continue our journey among the stars, and the galaxy will remember that humans are not to be underestimated. Commander Haynes looked out at the stars from the bridge of Resolute. They laughed at us once, she said softly, almost to herself. Now they see who we are. Humanity survives, humanity thrives, and humanity will never again be dismissed. The galaxy had learned a powerful lesson. Humans were brave, intelligent, and unpredictable. They survived against all odds, adapted faster than anyone expected, and emerged as equals in a universe that had once ridiculed them. The laughter of the galaxy was gone. In its place was respect, caution, and admiration. Humanity had arrived not to destroy, but to survive, to innovate, and to prove that even the smallest, seemingly weakest species could rise among the stars. And somewhere beyond the council chambers, the stars themselves seemed brighter, reflecting the courage, ingenuity, and unbreakable spirit of humanity. Humanity had laughed last, and the galaxy would never forget it.